Hi, gonna be wrapping the dash today. That's my goal. Hopefully, get that done. Two-toning it because that's kind of how they came into the factory, but these are not factory colors at all. That I'm gonna do satin black on the top side. That's what I'm gonna do, and then I also picked up some of this matte metallic brown. As you can see, it matches the wheel. Can I talk? The wheels very well. So I think it's gonna tie the outside with the inside, inside, outside, and a few other things that else get it wrapped in this bronzy, browny color. I like it a lot. Before I do that though, I have some trim I have to take out, and then I have a few modifications to some of the dash before I get going on that. One of them being a wiper switch. The wiper switch used to be hidden. Well, now it needs to be up front and center, and I want to put it next to the lights, and there's not a hole there for that. So I have to make a hole and make sure all of that just kind of sits well before, this. This is kind of the final step before all the modifications are done. And then everything can come together. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for, is just get this done and then start bolting everything back in, a little bit of wiring, and the interior should be done. I'm not saying it's going to be done in this video, but I'm hoping that the majority of it will be done. So, yeah, let's get to it. Start somewhere. I'm just going to start somewhere. I have the majority of everything out of my way. I got to clean it up yet. Just kind of wipe it down with some wax and grease remover. And it's going to be nice because this top section is going to be black up until, because there's a chrome trim strip that goes right there. And then this is one section that's going to get wrapped bronze. And then there's a trim panel piece there, bronze, that there, glove box, and then that section over there. So everything is going to be wrapped separate. Little parts, pretty flat, should be straightforward. And for my wiper solution, because I used to have my wipers down in here kind of hidden, but I drilled another hole right here. I think factory, they used to be in one of these here, but these are all modified now because these are all momentary or latching switches for stuff like line lock, safety control, and brights and interior lights and stuff like that. So I needed to find a new place for that. So that's what this hole is right here, right next to the lights. And in order to solve the problem of, well, here, the switch itself, because I have an aftermarket wiper system in there, and this is the switch that it came with, not particularly sexy at all. So I actually took the stock trim piece off of my, what do you call it? Steering column. Holy, why? I'm pretty sure I just glitched out there and trying to figure out what that word was. Steering column. So steering column stock on the blinker side, because that's going to get replaced for the cruise control setup that I have from Dakota Digital. And this, because this is the light switch, right? So it looks like ability, cool, goodness. This is the stock that was off of the steering column. And that used to screw in. Well, I drilled and tapped it and put the set screw in there off of this guy here. So now that will attach to there like that. So I'll have matching little knobs next to each other. Just a little style element to it. And in order to tell the two apart, it's a little hack for you guys. 1968 Camaros, trim ring bezels or switch bezels, right? Wash wiper. Then we got lights. I think you can pick these up for like 25 bucks or something like that. OER, I got them on eBay. Also comes with like ignition and then a lighter one. So I don't think I'm actually going to use those two, but these two are going to be nice. I'm going to paint the inside of those black because this is all, oh no, a lot of chrome that is going on. That's gone forever and ever. I'll pick it up. And that should solve that problem. I'm just trying to tell the two apart, but then also matching at the same time. And then I got the panels off. Got to clean them up, obviously, and then these are the ones that are going to get wrapped in bronze. So that's glove box. This is the passenger side one with the clock, and then the cigarette lighter and the ashtray. And then this one I already did. So this is the one that's on the driver's side. And before, the way I had it, I had the Terminator X small 3.5-inch screen was mounted behind it flush, so you could only see the screen. That was dumb. Reason why that was dumb is because I needed access to the memory card that's in the side of it in order to do updates and stuff like that. And if I ever did like a data log I'd have to like reach all the way up underneath the dash, somehow get that card out of there, and it just wasn't practical. So I cut the hole bigger, made a little bracket, put some Velcro on the back of it, and that's how that attaches now. So this just is literally Velcroed in. You can hear that. If I push hard enough, it's going to go flying off, hit the ground, and break, so I'm not going to do that. So that is the solution for me on that one. I think it's nice and flush. It protrudes a little bit, and I like this because now it matches. So this is the clock side, right? And this is the Terminator X side. Square, square, symmetrical. I don't know. I think it looks good. Should be good. And then this side is already wrapped. I just wanted to play with it, and I think it looks really good. Nice matte metallic bronze. Matches the wheels nice. It's going to be cool. So that's what I'm going on now is... what do I want to do first? Let's do all the bronze pieces first, and then the black on the top last, because I think the black's going to be a lot easier, knock on wood, than these little bronze pieces, because I think this is going to be a lot of tedious work in order to get these all in and all of these areas cut out and stuff like that, especially on the dash as well. So let me knock that out, and then hopefully we can just pick it up and do a time lapse on the set in black on the top. So I thought I'd show you guys this before I move forward. This is on the passenger side. This is upside down clock, ashtray, cigarette lighter. In order to work, I'm not a professional, for one. Let's start there. I just like to play with it. It works well for the things I want it to do. So that's kind of why I go with this stuff. And I highly recommend picking up like one of these squeegees, these 3M squeegees with felt tips that you can put on there. And I'm using a plastic door panel puller that kind of broke, and made sure that this tip isn't sharp, but just enough in order to get in all the crevices and all the edges. And heat is your best friend and your worst enemy when it comes to this stuff. Too much heat, you're going to melt right through it. Too little heat, and see how it's just like crinkly right there. Apply a little bit of heat. Now you can stretch it and form it and do whatever you want to it in order to fit it around to whatever contour you want. But it reacts quick. It's only 40 degrees out here right now, but see, you know, it's already getting kind of hard. But yeah, this laid down really nice. I'm really pleased with how this is kind of coming out. But I got to go ahead and make no mistakes and not cut myself and take a really sharp razor blade and trim out all the areas that I don't want covered anymore. So I'm going to get to that. Got a few more other pieces I got to wrap up, and then I can move on to the dash. So I managed to get all of the parts and pieces that come off of the dash wrapped up, and they look really good. I know they're kind of out of order and this is all over the place, but got them all back together and assembled. And I painted these trim rings a nice metallic-y silver, so it kind of matches some of the trim. Plus the shifter has some of this color on it. I think this looks good. Same thing with the Holley section there. I don't know what that is, but that needs to go away. And now with all that done, all I have to do is the dash, really. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to clean that thing up and just go with sections. So I'm going to do the bottom. I think I'm going to save the top for last and just do all the bottom sections and then the top. And then we can start throwing all these things back in and actually making it look like something again. Tell you a little something about wrapping dashes. I suck at it. So three tries. It took me 3 tries in order to kind of finally figure out how it wanted to move. And I still ended up with some garbage and some weird lines and stuff like that. Not terrible, but well, check it out. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bit of trash that got caught up underneath here that I couldn't get out. And some weird wrinkles right here because this area, to get it to stretch and for me to like manipulate it, especially where it was, and then there's no room because there's like a windshield right there. Pain in the butt. Like, I'm not making up excuses. I don't have the know-how to like really know how to get that to do what I wanted it to do when it needed to be done. So perfect, definitely not. But it looks a lot better than it did. And I needed a little bit of a win. So I started assembling stuff. I mean, you see I got the Chevy emblem in there. I got the glove box on. I've got the window trim back on, the seals back in, and then the switches and stuff that I was talking about earlier back on. So these look nice. And then the momentary switches all right here. So this one's like line lock safety. This one is trans brake. And then one of them is interior lights. And then the other one is the high beams on and off. So it's late. My back is fully torqued. So I'm going to go ahead and go in. But tomorrow I'm going to come back out here. I got a lot more wiring and stuff to clean up. So I'm going to do that and then hopefully assemble the majority of the rest of the dash is the plan. And then I can get the center console in and kind of go from there. So we'll pick this back up in a second for you, but like in a sleep time for me.
One eternity later.
I'm not going to lie. I have no clue where I left you guys because I just been taking this thing one wire at a time and making everything connected, which was just so time consuming and boring for you guys to watch. So I'm just showing you kind of how far I am at this point. As you can see, I got a complete dash in after I got it wrapped. So we got the Holley digital dash here, Coda digital gauges in. I've got those, the wiper switch and the light switch over there that I had to modify and make them look right with a 68 trim ring thing around it. I've got a Kenwood doubled in here now with the custom centerpiece that I wrapped in the bronze color, the dark brown metallic matte. Everything else is in, and all the switches and stuff in, and the cover. So if you haven't watched how I made like these door panels and stuff like that, I have an episode on that, and that's basically what I did here. Very simple in order to wrap this stuff. It's about a really thin layer of foam and then the vinyl material itself, and it came out so freaking good. And then as you can see, like the center console here, which actually matches pretty dang nice. I ended up painting these guys here bronze and all the wiring stuff. So this is the custom panel. I don't even remember if I showed you this or not. So this is a custom panel that I made that bolts in underneath the center console. I've got some relays and stuff on the backside here for the AC unit, and then also heated seats here, and then one of them's for my line lock, so that when I automatically put it in reverse like that, the light, because I have reverse lights on this car, the reverse light triggers a relay to send a negative signal to my Holley ECU, and then also the trans brake itself in order to click. Because usually if you have a trans brake, you put it in reverse, you have to hold the button down in order to go in reverse. No, I don't have to do that anymore. It's a little bit more user-friendly. All these switches here. So this one will be like line lock on and off, which means that if I push this button, nothing's going to happen. If I push that, then that completes the circuit, and then line lock will work. Same thing here with trans brake. So trans brake is my second button here. Pretty simple. And this one is interior lights, and then that one's my high beam, low beam. Instead of having a footwell one, I got it up there on the dash. What else? What else? So the AC unit is in, and I'm working on the plumbing and stuff for that, but I have to order new fittings and stuff like that because obviously the old system wasn't the same as the new system, so you got to spend a little bit of money there in order to do that, which is super annoying. But you know, that's the game I'm playing right now. I'm probably going to work on the what is that? Steering column. That's what that is. That's what I'm going to work on next, I think, just to get that guy in there. But I have to kind of tear it apart because the car is going to have cruise control. So I have to replace the blinker stock with a cruise control stock and then wire that thing in. Shouldn't take too terribly long. I say that, but it probably will. Other than that, like, this is how far I am. Dash is wrapped, it's assembled, everything's wired up. I've yet to test it, so hopefully I did a good job. I guess we'll find out here in a little while, but I think that's where I'm going to end this episode. Otherwise, I think it's just going to drag on. There's too much stuff going on. So next one I think I'm going to do is about like making. I got to make panels down here, right? So that the vents have someplace to go. You can see I got my hoses here and here for this, and then somehow tie it into there. So I got to figure something out there. I think I'm going to match it to the door panels, wrap it in leather, and then the vents themselves will be that stainless mesh in there. So I don't know why I'm leaning forward so much, but yeah, you guys made this far in the video. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, because, you know, obviously this isn't done yet, and we got to keep going. Plus, I have another car I got to build, so fun. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one.